A mechanic loosens the negative battery terminal. The screen goes black. The battery is reconnected. The dashboard lights up again, and the same check engine light is still there. The same fault code appears on the scan tool. Modern cars do not forget just because you pulled one cable. Some memory inside your car dies the moment power is removed, but other memory is designed to survive battery loss, dead batteries, jump starts, and even module swaps. Battery disconnect does not mean full ECU reset. For decades, this was the go-to-garage trick. Check engine light, disconnect the battery. Rough idle, disconnect the battery. Transmission shifting weird, disconnect the battery overnight and let the car reset itself. And to be fair, this advice did not come from nowhere. On older vehicles, especially before OBD-II became standard in 1996, electronics were simpler. Some cars had basic engine controllers. Some had carburetors with almost no computer control at all. In those systems, removing battery power could genuinely wipe short-term learned values, clear simple faults, or force the vehicle to start fresh. But modern cars are engineered completely differently. Think of an old car like a calculator. Pull the battery and the screen clears. A modern car is more like a smartphone connected to cloud accounts, passwords, saved settings, and encrypted security keys. Turning it off does not erase everything. It only turns off the screen. That is the part most battery reset advice gets wrong. Old car equals simple reset. Modern car equals networked memory. To understand why, you need to know that ECU memory is not one thing. It is several different kinds of memory, each built for a different job. First, there is the memory that works like a whiteboard. When the car is running, ECU writes live information on it. Oxygen sensor readings, throttle position, engine temperature, short-term fuel corrections, idle control changes, and moment-by-moment calculations. That whiteboard is RAM, or random access memory. RAM needs power. Remove power and it clears. So yes, disconnecting the battery can clear live temporary data. If the car had a soft, temporary glitch stored only in active memory, that part may disappear. But RAM is only the beginning. Next, there is memory that works more like a printed instruction manual. That is ROM, or read-only memory. This stores the basic operating instructions the ECU needs to function: fuel strategy, spark control logic, default maps, startup routines. Disconnecting the battery does not erase ROM. If it did, the car would not know how to run when you reconnected the battery. ROM is the factory instruction layer. Battery disconnect does not erase it. Then you have flash memory and EEPROM, electrically erasable memory designed to hold data even when power is removed. This is where modern vehicles may store deeper information: calibration data, programming updates, module configuration, VIN-related data, fault history, and in some cases long-term learned values. This memory is supposed to survive power loss. That is not a bug. That is the point. If your car forgot its immobilizer data every time the battery died, anyone with a wrench could create chaos. If an airbag module erased crash-related history just because someone disconnected the battery, that would be a safety and legal nightmare. Now we get to the confusing one. CAM, keep alive memory. CAM is basically your engine's long-term habit tracker. It may store learned idle behavior, long-term fuel trims, throttle adaptation, transmission shift adaptation, and other corrections the vehicle has learned from your engine, your sensors, and your driving style. On many vehicles, CAM is powered by a constant battery feed, usually a fused 12-volt line that stays alive even when the ignition is off. That means a quick battery disconnect may not clear it instantly. The ECU can hold charge in capacitors for a while. Depending on the vehicle, technicians often wait 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or sometimes over an hour before assuming CAM has fully drained. But here is the catch. Even when CAM does clear, that is not always good news. Your car may forget how to idle smoothly with its current throttle body condition. It may forget fuel trim corrections that compensated for aging injectors, small vacuum leaks, or sensor drift. It may forget transmission shift adaptations that made gear changes smoother. So after a battery disconnect, the car may run worse for a while. Rough idle, hesitation, poor fuel economy, delayed shifts, stalling when coming to a stop, not because the reset failed, because it worked. The ECU now has to relearn, and this is where manufacturer behavior varies. Some vehicles relearn quickly. Some need a specific idle relearn procedure. Some need a full drive cycle. Some store certain adaptation data in non-volatile memory that will not disappear from a simple battery pull. So the real answer is not battery disconnect clears the ECU. The real answer is, it depends which memory you are talking about. Now let's talk about the trap that catches a lot of people before inspection: OBD readiness monitors. Think of these as a checklist your car runs to prove its emission systems work. The car does not just say, no check engine light, everything is fine. It has to run tests: catalytic converter efficiency, oxygen sensor response, evap system leaks, misfire detection, fuel system behavior. When those tests complete successfully, the monitor changes to ready. When you disconnect the battery, you do not magically set those monitors to ready. You usually do the opposite. You clear the checklist. Battery disconnect means readiness monitors become incomplete. That means if you disconnect the battery the night before an emissions test, your car can fail even if the original problem is fixed. The inspector plugs in. The scan tool sees too many monitors marked not ready. The car fails because it has not proven its emissions systems are working yet. This is built into OBD-II logic. As documented in OBD-II service standards such as SAE J1979 and ISO 15031, emissions-related diagnostic data and monitor status are handled through defined scan tool communication and verified operating conditions. And those operating conditions matter. One monitor may need a cold start. Another may need steady highway speed. Another may need deceleration with no throttle. Another may need the fuel tank between certain levels before the evap test runs. That is called a drive cycle. And it is why someone can say, I fixed the part, cleared the code, drove around the block, and still failed inspection. The car was not ready yet. Actionable rule: if you are going for an emissions test within the next 2 weeks, do not disconnect the battery as a shortcut. Use a scan tool, check the codes, check monitor status, then complete the required drive cycle. Here is what many people miss. Your car is not one computer. It is a network. A modern vehicle may have 10, 20, 40, even 80 or more control modules depending on the platform and trim level. They talk over CAN bus, controller area network, which is basically the car's internal communication system. The engine computer talks to the transmission computer. The ABS module talks to the stability control system. The body control module talks to the doors, lights, key system, and security functions. The airbag module sits on its own safety-critical data. So when you disconnect the battery, you may clear temporary RAM in some modules, but you should not assume you erased everything across the whole network. Immobilizer and security data are intentionally designed to survive battery removal. That includes key pairing, rolling codes, module authorization, and anti-theft information. If that disappeared every time the battery went flat, your car could lock you out or become easy to steal. Transmission control modules may retain shift adaptation or clutch pressure learning, depending on the system. ABS and steering modules may retain calibration data. SRS airbag modules often retain fault history or crash-related data in memory that is not erased by disconnecting the battery. Independent technicians have documented this on many GM, Ford, Toyota, and other vehicles. But the exact behavior varies by model, generation, and module design. Safety and security data is built to survive power loss. That is why a battery disconnect might make the dashboard look different for a few minutes, but the scan tool still shows history codes, permanent codes, or module-specific faults. The battery cable trick is a blunt tool. Modern vehicle diagnostics are surgical. Now, to be balanced, battery disconnects are not useless. They still have a place. On many pre-OBD-II vehicles, especially older cars with simpler electronic control, disconnecting the battery could be very effective. It could clear basic adaptive memory. It could reset a simple ECU. It could remove temporary faults that were not stored deeply. On some older OBD platforms, an extended battery disconnect may clear certain adaptive trims or idle learning. And even today, disconnecting the battery can be a valid diagnostic step. For example, if a module is frozen, a power reset may bring it back online. If a temporary communication error occurred, removing power may help confirm whether the fault returns. But there are caveats. First, disconnect for 10 seconds is not the same as draining KAM. If the goal is to keep alive memory, many technicians wait at least 30 minutes, and some sources recommend an hour or more depending on the vehicle. Second, clearing adaptive memory can create drivability problems. You may need an idle relearn. You may need a throttle body relearn. You may need a full drive cycle. Third, battery disconnect is not a clean diagnostic record. It may erase useful clues. Freeze-frame data can show engine load, coolant temperature, RPM, speed, and fuel trim at the moment a fault occurred. If you wipe that before scanning the car, you may destroy the evidence you needed to diagnose the real problem. Scan first. Reset second. So yes, battery disconnect can work. But on modern vehicles, it is rarely the smartest first move. Here is the better approach. If your goal is to clear a check engine light, use an OBD scan tool. Even a basic one can show active codes, pending codes, permanent codes, and readiness monitor status. Active codes mean the fault is currently detected. Pending codes mean the ECU has seen a problem, but it may need another failed test before turning on the light. Permanent codes are emissions-related codes that may stay stored until the vehicle confirms through a drive cycle that the problem is fixed. That distinction matters. Clearing the light is not the same as fixing the fault. If your goal is to pass emissions, fix the actual problem, clear the codes with a scan tool if appropriate, and then drive the car through the required conditions until the readiness monitors show ready. Do not guess. Check monitor status before going to inspection. If your goal is to replace a battery without losing learned settings, use a memory saver. A memory saver is a small power supply that connects through the OBD port or another approved connection point to keep low-current memory circuits alive while the main battery is replaced. Used correctly, it can help preserve radio presets, clock settings, window indexing, idle learning, and some adaptive memory. But use the right tool and follow the instructions. A cheap or misused memory saver can create problems if it cannot supply stable voltage. If your goal is to reset a specific module, use the proper scan tool function. Many professional tools can perform throttle relearn, idle relearn, steering angle calibration, transmission adaptation reset, battery registration, and module-specific fault clearing. That is very different from yanking power and hoping the right thing disappears. Trying to pass emissions, use a scan tool and complete the drive cycle. Replacing a battery, use a memory saver if the vehicle supports it. Chasing a soft fault, scan first, save the codes, then clear and verify. Resetting a module, use the correct service procedure. Guessing with the negative terminal is how small problems become expensive ones. The core takeaway is simple. Disconnecting the negative terminal may erase temporary memory, but modern cars store important faults, adaptations, security data, and emissions status in places designed to survive power loss. Before you pull the cable, scan the car. That one step can save your diagnostic clues, protect your emissions readiness, and stop you from resetting the wrong thing. Next, I'll show you how to read your own OBD codes in under 3 minutes with a basic scan tool, and how to tell which codes actually matter.